to shut the door. I have just ran out of the courtroom. Okay, you guys, Diddy's team seems like they're in serious trouble. It looks like these games they may be allegedly playing have finally caught up with them. Judge Aaron was pissed. He just read them the Riot Act. He has promised a full investigation, trial by jury, seizing devices to find out who violated a court order and leaked sensitive information to a blog. Baby, this is not doxing a Jane Doe. This is something serious and information that only the prosecution and the defense should have known. You guys, this is crazy. On top of that, Diddy said that he's ending the trial early. Oh my God. On top of that, so much happened and court hasn't even started. You guys, listen, there was a lot of stuff going on outside in the line. I got here early. I thought it was weird that we were lining up, but the weird thing that actually happened was we were brought into the court early at 8 o'clock. Court does usually not start until 8:30, 8:45 when the judge starts taking questions. So we already knew something was up, but we thought it was about juror number 7. We thought it was about juror number 7 because the judge was supposed to rule on it today. More on that later. But no, he came in and sat down and it was like a gust of legal wrath had snuck down. Y'all, if the rumors are true and this is Diddy's team, it looks like they might have started going too far and maybe this mistrial might be something the prosecution is talking about. Y'all, let's get into this. Hold on, y'all gonna have to wait for me to set up my tripod because oh my God, when I tell y'all I ran out of the courtroom, I'm still here. When I tell y'all I ran out of the courtroom to bring y'all this tea, I ran out of the courtroom. God be my witness. Hold on. Let's get into this because I have to pull my notes out for this. You guys, this is serious. This is serious. And zoom back. This is serious and also this is very, very, very bad for Diddy's team. Now, to be fair, he did ask, hold on, let's see if we can get some green in. Okay, just so y'all know I ain't in my mama's basement, right? To be fair, he did also ask the prosecution, Miss Comey, where did this come from? And Miss Comey was like, Judge, I think it's really what you just said. Like, there was only a handful of us in here. Okay, so if you guys don't know, right? There was something that happened Friday. Remember that day Friday when I went live really, really late? Why? Because court's usually out by 5. They kicked everybody out the courtroom and they had a private conversation between counsel. They kicked everybody out the courtroom and they had a private conversation. A lot was discussed in that private conversation. No one was privy to it. It was sealed under court order. Nobody was supposed to know. And the only people in that room were the prosecution and was the defense. That was the only people in the courtroom. They talked for a good 30, 40 minutes in super, super sealed. If you guys don't know, when judges seal, it's super serious. Okay, I'll get into why later, but just know it's super, super serious. There is no way that anybody from the media, let alone a blog, let alone an article, there's no way that anybody could have known what was sitting in that room outside of someone in the parties. Once again, it was a judge. It was a court reporter. The court reporter has been in Epstein. Like, there's no reason that a member of the court would leak that. There's just no reason, right? And that's what the judge said. It was just a court reporter. It was a judge, right? And it's court reporter, judge, and it was all the prosecution. You know what Mark Garagos referred to as a 6-pack of white woman that, by the way, is river dancing all over Diddy's Last Chance of Freedom, right? Hey, good morning. It's like literally like and all of the defense team, okay? Mark Garagos, Tenny Garagos, Brian Still, Westmoreland, Xavier Donaldson, Shapiro, and then like Driscoll, I think that's his name, and a few other people that are on the defense team. And of course, the whole prosecution team. That were the only people there, and it was done in a sealed court. Not only did they kick us out, but they literally put the noise canceling thing on, locked both doors, it's double doors, and then told us to move down. So there's no way anybody could have known, anybody could have said anything. However, this evidence did in fact leak. The evidence did in fact leak. Let me pull my notes out to talk about it. Also, two things really quick. Actually, three things. Hold on. Really quick before I get into the story and then run back upstairs, because Brendan Paul is going to testify today too. Baby, this is the worst week ever for Diddy. And remember how people said that Diddy was going to have a parade of celebrities coming, this and that? Oh my God, what if this person testifies? What if that person testifies? Hey, good morning. What if this person testifies? What if that person testifies? Baby, ain't nobody coming to hear you sing Otis, because guess what? Diddy said that they expect their defense to run. They expect their defense to run, and I got to check notes. The general duration of the defense case that they're putting up is going to be 2 to 5 trial days. Even if cross-examination takes too long, even if all this stuff, that means that they don't expect their defense to last more than a week, maybe a week and a half. That means that once the prosecution rests this week and the defense goes for next week, as early as the week after that, the jury is going to get their instructions. The jury is going to get their instructions. You guys, this is almost over. That's if Diddy's team is telling the truth. The judge did say, I'm not going to hold you to it, but I need to get a general sense. Micah Cook, thank you so much for that super chat. Lynn Stegman says, aren't you hot in that court? Do you? Lynn, have you checked the weather report? It is literally 68 degrees in New York City in the middle of summer. No, I ain't hot. Do you see everybody else? Do you see everybody else? Do you see everybody else? Do you see everybody else in their winter coats? Thank you. Check the weather report. Check the weather report. Okay? Anyway, listen. Check the weather report. I'm not sitting here out on an island by myself. Why are y'all worried about that? I'm bringing you. Lynn, focus. Okay? So listen. Let's get into this. First of all, girl, one, I have three things to say. One, we got merch. Listen, we have your HONAH, Diddy Did It t-shirts. Hurry up and get them, because we don't know how long this trial's gonna go. We have Tisa Tells merch, we have cups, we have mugs, we have tank tops, and the merch is gonna get better and better and better. Ralph Allen, thank you so much for the super chat, all right? I'm about to tell y'all what happened, but can I have a brief commercial? Gosh, merch, okay? The link will be pinned in the chat, in the description box. Y'all know what to do. Also, shout out to Zandra. What's up? I was talking to Darla. Zandra, if you are watching this, shout out to you. Me, you, and Darla are all going to get together. Also, Darla is up for the Max Robinson Excellence in Local Journalism Award. I want you guys all to pray for Darla that she gets it, baby. She is one of the illest and realest reporters out there on ABC. You know Miss Mamas, right? Triple combinations of looks, style, class, but not even that journalistic integrity. Pray that she gets this. She is deserving of it, and we are praying that she does get the Max Robinson Excellence in Local Journalism Award. Okay, so let's get into what happened. Angie Amelino, thank you so much. And Lucy Garcia, thank you so much for the super chat. Listen, we'll talk about the news about the second juror, but first let's get into, there's something bigger going on than the second juror, and this could actually be something, a mistrial, or at the very least, somebody on Diddy's team, if there's an investigation, could end up with criminal charges for violating the court order, right? So the judge came in, right? And usually he comes in like, hi, everybody, hi. He's a fair judge. Baby, Judge Aaron came in like, literally like the Dark Lord Voldemort. He came in like a Dark Lord Voldemort. Robe was blowing. And I said, oh my God, he's coming in hot, which is so unlike him. Literally came to the thing, please be seated. We were like, okay, right? Sat down. You know me, I always think I'm in trouble. And I'm like, oh, yikes. Is this it? Are they I always think I'm about to get kicked out of the courtroom, even though I have no reason to be kicked out. But you know me, I always think, right? They say that's something called ADHD people. We always think we're in trouble, even though we're not, because our whole lives we've been in trouble because we're always jumping all over the place, right? Lynette Holmes, thank you so much for the super chat, all right? So he said, listen, there was an article that came out yesterday, and the contents of that article, no one knew about, right? No one should have known about it. It was a sealed courtroom. It was a closed courtroom. And it was a sealed order that none of the parties in that room could talk about it. So how did an article just come out last night about the article? Now, here's the thing. Y'all know I went to every news site before I went on live because I was like, what? News article, what? I literally was like, what's going on? I went to bed at 8 o'clock last night, so I thought I missed something, but nobody knew the article he was talking about. But get this, the prosecution and the defense both knew what article he was talking about. And he literally said to Miss Comey, has anybody from your team talked to anybody, release, blah, blah, blah? No, Your Honor, we haven't. Mr. Agnifilio, because basically he was also implying that the prosecution has no reason to leak information. That goes against the purpose. It goes against the game. They are the dealer. They don't have to leak information. Just like they found out that CNN video, the prosecution didn't leak it. What happened was one of the security men that had taken a video were the one that sold that the video to CNN of Cassie being whatever. Anyway, he went to Mr. Agnifilio. Did anybody from your team, blah, 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 blah? Mark got up, no, Your Honor, I don't think so. And I said, Mark, stop with the whole golly shack. This is not the time to be mumbling and stuttering in front of the judge. You look guilty. The judge looked at them and he said, well, someone's lying. But when he said that, he was looking at Mark Agnifilio because the underrepresentation is the government doesn't have a reason to leak. The defense has been fighting for mistrials. And also, whatever the information was, Judge Aaron was implying, okay, that leak came from, only helped the defense. That's another reason he was looking at the thing like, why would the prosecution leak this, right? He said, well, obviously someone is lying. He said, and Mark Agnifilio was just like, literally acting real nervous, right? He said the court was closed. The transcript was closed, right? Someone present for the court sealing violated a federal court order. And again, he was pissed. Judge Aaron does usually not have this much anger and wrath. And there was no type of there was no, it was like, y'all messed up now, right? He said, were you aware, Mr. Agnifilio, were you aware during yesterday's proceedings, right, of the article? The government jumps up, Your Honor, we weren't aware. And that's what I said, they didn't leak, because they were low-key kind of enjoying it. Your Honor, we weren't aware, right? And he said, Mr. Agnifilio, were you aware during yesterday's proceedings that this article existed? And Mark Agnifilio was like, no. Why are you taking so long to say yes or no answer if you don't have anything to do with this, right? And then he said, what? And listen, started questioning Mark Agnifilio. When did you become aware? I don't know, Your Honor. I can't say when we became aware. You can't say where you became aware of an article that violated a court order. You don't remember where you were when you did this? You don't remember where you were when you actually spilled the beans for what was going on? I said, somebody looking like they lying. No, he said, thank you for your reporting, Tisa. You're amazing. I don't know. It's like, you sure you don't know? Oh, listen. Tyrone Blackburn says, sounds like Natalie was leaking. Who's Natalie? Who's Natalie? Luis De Jesus, thank you so much for the super chat. Also, Andrea Covington, thank you so. Oh, wait, Natalie, is that Diddy's PR? Does Diddy have PR? I know that there's somebody is that Diddy's PR? I don't think Diddy has PR on the ground right now. If they are, for the last few weeks, they've been doing a horrible effing job. Adrian Covington, thank you so much for the super chat. 413 Print and Press it. Been trying to do your merch. We'll bring you something next Friday when I come. Still adding to my site. 413 Print and Press, thank you so much. And VJ, thank you so much for the super chat. Also, Keela Hyde said, this tea, baby, this is hot off the presses. I ran out the courtroom. Gail O said, so sketchy. Oh, the story's not over. Hold on, I'm about to get back into it. Thank y'all so much. When I say I ran out the courtroom, literally, as soon as he said, okay, I literally was running to the elevator like this, running in, doing this, fighting people to get to the elevator. I ran out the courtroom to tell y'all this tea. Anyway, right? He said, Mr. Agnifilio, you weren't aware. When did you become aware of this article, right? I'm not sure, Your Honor. That's like your mom asking you, when did you do that? I don't know. Oh, mofo, you know, right? So then he was like, the prosecution sent it to us. Marie Kobe looked over her shoulder like, right? That's when we came aware. When the prosecution sent it to us, again, it sounded like guilt to me. Because you know how you try to pull somebody into it? No, them. When they told me, she literally was like, a child, I guess, literally, Marie Comey's facial expressions send me like, what? Right? So Judge Aaron was just sitting there still looking so mad, like no sign of anything, right? He said that is a violation of a court sealing order. And it is also, he starting local rule 123. Under the local rules, it is a violation. And this is a violation after defense made their own application to have everything sealed, because defense themselves were the ones saying that the government, that their attorneys, that everybody should be bounded down. This was a defense actually asking for it. And now there's a violation, a direct violation of it. And again, the way he was implying it is that this violation only helped Diddy's team. Tyrone Blackburn said, Natalie, aka Nat, is Diddler's PR. She is not the sharpest knife in the drawer, so she would be dumb enough to leak. Who is this Nat person? I haven't seen that person. I don't think that Diddy has PR on the ground. It can't be. After what's happened and the way they've aligned themselves with every dirtbag in New York City to free Puff, the way they was handing out $20 t-shirts that got exposed, you cannot tell me that Diddy's had PR on the ground. You cannot tell me. Anyway, right? They've aligned themselves. Diddy's PR over the last 4 weeks has aligned themselves with every dirtbag in New York City, every dirtbag on the internet, every dirtbag outlet. Like, congratulations, king of the dirtbags. Anyway, he said, anyway, let's get back into Judge Aaron. She said, defense's own application model. I said, in order? They said, in order? She said, my orders will be strictly adhered to in terms of anything, especially in violation. What has happened has civil and criminal consequences. The defense, you guys asked for this to be sealed because you wanted the case to be tried on the facts alone. And I was in the back saying, right? And also, they was looking really, really nervous. You guys were the ones that asked for this to be tried on the facts alone, right? And the fact that a federal court order, my court order, the fact that it was the commitment that we all agreed to and we all agreed to honor was violated. It was violated. Listen, he said, from now on, we're not playing the whole, ooh, golly shucks, I don't know. I'm paraphrasing it. He said, from now on, anything that comes from either of the sides, Miss Comey, you are put on notice. Anything that happens with prosecution, I don't care. You will be the one held responsible. And then he chose, but again, he was focusing on Diddy's team. Lisa Thomas said, real journalism. Thank you so much. You're welcome. Listen, the jurors weren't in the room when all this was happening. The jurors weren't in the room, right? Alyssa Williams, thank you so much for the super chat. And then he said, and Mr. Agnophilion, he's like, yes, Your Honor, acting guilty as a mug. Meanwhile, Maureen Comey is like, I actually think you should do that, because he actually said, she literally was like, Your Honor, you need to do what you need to do to get to the bottom of this. I am actually curious too. We do need an investigation, Your Honor. I think that is a great idea. Mel NYC Reviews. What's up, Mel? Said, the judge pulled at Ayanna and said, not on my watch. Exactly. The courthouse is shaking and rocking this morning. Baby, I'm so glad I got here early, but I'm always here early. But yes, shout out to you, Mel NYC Reviews. Listen, so he said, he said, Mr. Argenfilio, for now on, I'm not playing this little game of telephone. You are personally responsible for anything that comes out of your team, anything that's signed, anything that's passed along, and anything that's leaked. You are personally responsible for this. Because you know how Diddy's team loves to be like, oh, I don't know. We have to check who did this, who's on first, right? Listen, he said, why is that? Because he literally said that he has the right, and he's looking into requesting a formal inquiry, right? Which will include a delivering of devices, people questioned under penalty of perjury. And the lead counsel is on notice that they are responsible for any violations that come down off of their team. Any violations. Any violations. Again, you guys weren't in the courtroom and you didn't see the way everybody was squirming. And Maureen Comey was like, listen, you could tell who was innocent in this. Maureen Comey, hey, good morning, how are you? Maureen Comey was like, do what you have to do, Your Honor. Somebody, he said, Ms. Comey, do you have anything to say? She said, I agree, Your Honor. In your first assessment, somebody is lying. And I think we should get to the bottom of this. Ain't nothing better than when you see your ops or your adversaries get in trouble and you know it ain't got ish to do with you. She was like, I actually think this is a good, Your Honor, I think your first assessment was the right one. Somebody is in fact lying. I love Maureen Comey. I'm sorry. She is my spirit animal. Okay, so get this, right? You guys, I am looking for the article. I think the article's already been pulled down, and they won't give us any clues as to what was said in the article. But the point is, the information that was laid out in the article is the only thing that could have come from a slip room. The prosecution didn't do it. And even if you thought they did, the way Maureen Comey was like, no worry, no what, she was sitting there like, ain't got no worries. Listen, VYBZ Star said, just got on. Quick recap, please, Tisa girl. Okay, I'll give you a quick recap before we move on. Okay, the judge came in hot, all right? He came in like Lord Voldemort. His robes were blowing in the wind, okay? He sat down. He's usually so nice, so compassionate, so fair. Not today. He was on his bullshit. He literally was, I wish one of y'all would. He literally said that there was a closed courtroom. And they kicked us out all Friday, and there was a closed courtroom for about 40 minutes. They discussed something. The only people there was the court reporter, the judge, and everybody from both sides of the legal counsel. That's it. It was put under seal. The seal was actually a court order that Diddy's team demanded. So the trial could be based off of facts. It leaked to a news outlet. They did not tell us the article. I scanned the big major news outlets. I didn't see anything, okay? And then the article kind of gotten pulled down. Hey, what's up, Anthony?
How are you, Tisa?
I'm pretty good. How are you doing?
I'm here to check on you a little bit, Tisa.
Oh, I'm doing good. I'm doing good.
I like your
What?
podcast. I mean, the calling thing. It was.
Oh, thank you. No, I'm on live right now, but definitely we'll talk. I'm going to do another one, okay?
Thank you, Tisa. See you later.
All right, see ya. Thank you. So anyway, where was I? Oh, delighting in the downfall of Diddy's team. Okay, so the judge was like, yo, this was still a courtroom. Nobody should have did anything. One of y'all did it. The government is sitting there like, I don't know. You need to talk to them. It wasn't us. And Judge Aaron was heavily implying that he was like, the court would have no reason to do this. The government, whatever that article was, helped Diddy's team. And it was leaked. The judge seemed like he was implying that he thinks that they leaked the information. Miss Allison, good morning, Tisa. I see you're already locked in and loaded. I'm about to go check your merch out. Thank y'all. We do have merch, t-shirts and everything. Okay, so let me get to the end of the recap so we can continue with the story. He then went on to say, right? He then went on to say that Tamara Yoder said, Tisa, you're my spirit animal. You're amazing. Thank you for all you do. He then went on to say that this is a violation of a federal court order. He's looking into doing a formal inquiry where they literally, everybody has to turn on their devices. They literally do a digital investigation to see what messages were sent, who sent what, who was communicating to this thing. They're going to question the legal counsel under penalty of perjury, and whatever is found out, the lead counsel is responsible for whoever did it under their team. This is violating a federal court order is civil and criminal charges. It is a big deal. Mark Agnafilio couldn't even say when he's like, did you know about the article? No, he said, did you know how this got leaked? No. Judge Aaron looked at them and said, so when did you find out about the article then? I don't know. I don't know when I found out the article. Then they literally was like, when the prosecution emailed, you stumbled for 3 minutes, couldn't even remember anything all sent in the prosecution. Maureen Comey looked at like, boy, stop, right? But he was like, Miss Comey, she said, Your Honor, I think your assessment's correct. I do think somebody's lying, right? She was looking like, go ahead, make the inquiry. You want my device? Here, all y'all. Come on, everybody put that. I'm surprised Miss Maureen didn't pull out her purse and be like, yo, Everybody put your cell phones in the bag. Put your cell phones in the bag. We're going to send this to forensic. Come on. Put your cell phones in the bag. Jaria, the Black Diamond, said, I know them juries better say guilty in the end, baby. You, me, and everyone else. Patricia Walker said it was a TMZ article that talked about the second juror. What? What? I don't think that was the article. No. No, that couldn't have been the article. Because the mess about juror number 6 and the text, that came out yesterday. And it happened yesterday. Judge Aaron is saying that whatever was leaked happened on Friday. Whatever was leaked happened on Friday. The shit about what happened, it was in the closed chamber. They didn't have a closed chamber discussion about the second juror. That shit happened on Monday. I do believe. All right. Also, there's a link to my merch in the live. Anyway, right? He then went on to say, he said, if a judge was to file an opinion about one of the parties compromising the integrity of the trial, it would have shockwaves. All right. Now, the funny thing is, Diddy keeps, in my mind, Diddy keeps messing with Judge Aaron. Why he is hot and bothered. Instead of sitting there and being quiet, right? Diddy literally out the blue, for the first, I've been in this trial for 5 weeks. For the first time out the blue, while the judge is talking, he chooses to do this. Yoga stretches in his seat while the judge is talking. I've never seen him do that. And Diddy is sitting directly in front of the judge. I think he was enjoying how angry Judge Aaron was. I truly think he was enjoying how. And in my head, I'm like, are you dumb? Are you dumb? There's a time to antagonize and time not to antagonize, right? We can make an argument on whether pettiness, the energy, the universe, but there is a time to antagonize and a time not to antagonize. You do not get to antagonize someone when you don't hold the power. But this lets you know about his mindset. He is unrepentant. He doesn't think that he's done anything wrong. He doesn't think he's done anything to be ashamed about. And if he gets off, he is going to wreak havoc in everybody's life. Probably starting mine first. But anyway, right? So anyway, they said, oh, so then also he was like, what else? So he was like, I'm looking into this, right? And everybody was just sitting there. They was just like 3-year-olds looking down, except for Diddy doing yoga stretches to antagonize the judge. Like, what is wrong with you? And even if you weren't doing it to antagonize the judge, let's just play devil's advocate. If you know that you're in trouble, is that really the time to start doing this? Like Diddy he is the king of image. He built a whole empire built on shadows. So it leads me to believe that you knew what you were doing because you guard your image so heavily. Anyway, right? They said that, so anyway, they're like, oh, yes, Your Honor, we have one more question. Judge Aaron was not having it. Tyrone Blackburn said, it may have been related to Juror 6's lack of comprehension, which was discussed privately. I don't think so. You guys, it wasn't just a juror. There were other things discussed when they kicked us out the room. Because they were talking about Juror 6 around us and the lack of this and lack of that. I was there when that happened. For them to, why they gotta blow leaves out? Let me get closer. The leaf blower's out. That's my little co-star. But for them to actually kick everybody out the room, they were discussing more than that. Because I was there when they talked about jurors number 6, possible lack of comprehension. So it wasn't anything dealing with juror number 6. I promise you, it wasn't anything. And that shit about juror number 7, that happened yesterday. But then again, who knows? Anyway, they said, juror number 6, they said, listen, so then they were like, Your Honor, what was the reason juror number 6 was excused, right? But they mumbled it because they didn't want to get on his bad side. He said, there were no circumstances, all right? We didn't address the reason. We just told all the jurors he's been excused. Get your asses up on that juror. Basically, right? Again, Diddy stretch seemed like he was super happy and relaxed, just weird, right? Oh, also, this is a little disgusting thing before I forget. Do you know, why is my life like this? Why are they doing, I mean, I get it, it's the courthouse, that's why it looks so beautiful, but like, this is my life, a leaf blower. Why I gotta get the person that's actually doing their job? Half the time they just be like, Anyway, let me get closer so y'all can hear, right? So here's the thing, right? Exactly. It was deliberate and disrespectful. Diddy is too smart not to realize optics. His whole life is optics. He did it, and he was enjoying the fact that the judge was so tight and so hot and so bothered, right? But get this. They also, Tinny Garagos requested that Diddy be, why we were waiting for the jury to come in, right now that's what we're doing. Tinny Garagos requested that Diddy be allowed to look, hold on y'all. Can y'all hear me? Put a 1 in the comments if y'all can hear me. Diddy's team requested that, listen, okay, here we go. Diddy's team requested that while we're waiting for the jury to come in, that Diddy be allowed to view the freak-off tapes. That ninja is unrepentant. You now want to, you want to see the freak-off tapes? You want to see the freak-off tapes? You want to see the freak-off tapes, right? They said he wants to see the evidence, what was shown to the jury. There was an 11-minute freak-off tape, a 40-minute freak-off tape, and whatever. And he wanted to see that. That man is a demon. Demon. Thanks, y'all. A demon child. Rand, thank you so much for the super chat. And Nicole Brown said, I heard that jury number 2 was in trouble too this weekend. Okay, maybe it is jury number 2. Maybe. Beach Life Stranded, thank you so much for the super chat. So anyway, right? So the judge said, yeah, go ahead and show him the evidence. So they said, Your Honor, we'll take him to like the robing room or whatever to show him the video. So right now that perv is watching the freak-off tape. Why you need to see the freak-off tape? You were there. What you gonna say? Look at the way she arches her back and smiles. She enjoys it, right? But here's the thing. The judge looked at Mark Agnifilio and said, Mr. Agnifilio, we'll let him go see the tapes, but it is now your responsibility. If anything about what's on those tapes leak, if anything, hey, good morning. If anything about what's on those tapes leak, you are responsible. And I don't care where it came from with your team, you're responsible, right? They also said, so then Tinny Garagos is like, Your Honor, Big Yella IDR, thank you so much. Thank you, Big Yella. She was like, Your Honor, listen, I know you said that, but I'm under a court order responsible for the USB trial. So if anything comes back, the buck needs to stop with me. The judge looked at her and said, no, the buck is shared. If anything comes back from these tapes, you guys are both in trouble. Mr. Garagos, you have been put on notice. He is tired of Diddy's team. They also said that they're going to ask juror number 7 questions in the robing room later today. Also, last thing, they said the duration of this case, 2 to 5 trial days is all Mark Agnifilio thinks he needs, right? Motions and everything. They said that basically the defense thinks that their case will take about a week. You heard it here first. The defense thinks that their case is going to take a week. Baby, Diddy is going to jail. And it also lets me know that all this foolery about he's going to have all these witnesses and all this, the only person you could get to stand by you was Kanye. And Kanye got his own Diddy-like cases. And he got his wife walking around naked. And everybody thinks he lost his mind off of that nitrous oxide. So, that's the best you could get, I guess. You got the local crackhead that knows how to play music to come, and baby, not a crackhead trying to get over their addiction, but one that realized they gonna smoke crack for the rest of their lives and be happy at it. That's what he got going on. Pi3232 said, love your coverage, girl. Thank you for all your hard work. You guys, listen, I do what I can. Kitwana Teamba said, Tisa, why do you think why there are so many people talking about that believe he's innocent? Honestly, I think some people want to think he's innocent. I think some people are paid. And I think that some people are just not looking at the facts. I don't think they're looking at the facts. Diddy is going to be convicted. Trust and believe. And I'm going to do my victory lap when he is. And if he's not, I will be in an Uber going straight to JFK. I would just walk downstairs, get an Uber. I'll literally tell the hotel, burn all my stuff. I don't need it. Odetta White said, keep up the excellent work, Tisa. It has to be exhausting, baby. It is, but I love doing this for you. The legendary Kind, thank you so much for joining the family again. Yeah, if he's not, y'all will know because I'll be on an Uber. I won't even hi guys, I'm on my way to JFK. Literally, what's the next flight out? Mo, we got a flight going to Bora Bora, leaving in an hour. Put me on that. I'll find my way home. I'll find my way home. Beach Life Stranded, thank you so much for the super chat. Again, where's all these celebrity friends that were with them? Where's all these people that were going to do? You can't even get people to come and say anything, because at the end of the day, what can you say? And it's going to probably culminate with Diddy actually taking the stand and literally probably crying, saying he didn't know, apologizing to all the women he hurt, and saying, if I had known, I would have never done it. Man, shut up. Go cry in your cell. Robin Chesser, welcome to the family. Anyway, you guys, listen, that is a quick update. I gotta get back in the court. Brendan Paul's gonna be there. Shout out to Zandra. Me and Darla was talking. What's up? And also, you guys, send some love to Darla from ABC. She is up for the Max Robinson Award for Excellence and Local Award-winning Journalism. And baby, she has always done her thing. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful journalist, inside and out. Shout out to her. Send some prayers to Darla that she is once again acknowledged for the greatness she does in journalism. ABC's finest. Dawana Freeman, thank you so much for the super chat. Somebody said, Sandra said, I got you, I'll hide you. Girl, no, y'all gonna see me literally in the Uber. JFK, please. But please, if JFK, if the traffic's too much, I might risk my life and be like, just take me to Newark. I know there's flights there, because Newark, something's going on with their air traffic control. So I already know they got flights open. You know what? I'm going to have to leave it up to God. Take me to Newark on a wing and a prayer, just in the Holland Tunnel, just like, whoo, going over, just thinking and contemplating. Again, Diddy, I do think Diddy's going to be convicted, and I'm waiting to do my victory lap. Because evil can't triumph over good all that time. They just can't. Anyway, Jim, thank you for gifting 5 memberships. Christina Corum said, if you only knew. Christina Corum, I'm going to hurt y'all. Stop using KKs like this. You know she probably sweating about whether she going to be bought up. Miss PG 8720 said, Yana, great coverage and humor, Tisa. Almost spit out my coffee. Appreciate you. Thank you so much. And Robin Chesser, thank you so much for the super chat. Listen, why a victory lap? You don't do a victory lap when you see God's will done. You don't do a victory lap when you see good triumph over evil. You don't do a victory lap when you see somebody that is a sex trafficker, a DV, someone that messed with people's mentals and treated people like animals. You don't do a victory lap when they're actually held accountable. I do. Baby, thy will be done. And did he not say to delight in all things he's created? He's even created divine justice. Deborah Graham, thank you so much for the super chat. Yes, we do a victory lap around here. Won't he do it? Did he not teach us to delight and literally and glorify all his creations? Did he not? So I will, anything he brings about, I will glorify. Yay! Anything he brought, I will delight in his creation. Listen, okay. Oh, Ameka, thank you so much. I'm going to try to get back on Sussex Squad. But dab it out. Thank you. Listen, we got to start celebrating the good times. But again, for reasons obvious, Dr. Man 23 said, all is being exposed. Cat Williams was prophetic. He really was a prophet. Cat Williams told us the way 2020, was it 24 or 25? God, it seems like forever ago. He told us the way things would happen. And yes, it is playing out. Honeybee Therapy, thank you so much for these super chats. Listen, let's get into this. In any case, you guys, listen, what else can I say? Yeah, Diddy is going down. Oh, let me go. I gotta go. Brendan Paul's on the stand. I'll talk to you later. Bye.